Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Media Buff Podcast, a show about anything and everything media related. Ed here with our new host, Mr. Jan Solo.
Hello.
And this time around, my lovely wife, Jen, is joining.
Hello.
Yes, sir. With this episode, it is May the 4th, so happy Star Wars Day to one and all. If you don't know what that entails to, let me tell you a story about a place in a time long, long ago in a galaxy far, far away.
And somehow
They
in the future.
and somehow in the future. I mean, it was back in the 70s, 1977 to be exact, when the first film first released, almost 50 years.
Mhm.
Damn.
Yeah. So
It's been that long. Mhm.
Star Wars is probably one of the oldest franchises that has spanned 3 generations. Going out to 4. Because a lot of the kids whose their great grandparents grew up with it are now having kids.
You're kind of echoing.
It's because she's in the room with me and her mic is picking me up.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
Let me
okay.
see if I can mute her. And no, that won't. Go ahead and unmute yourself, because that does help. But then we can't hear
Yes.
you. In any case, for this episode, we're gonna go ahead and talk about how we were introduced to the franchise, how we were impacted by it, and what we like about it even now. That is kind of like, not fizzled, but it's definitely not as popular as it used to be. I think the pinnacle of the height was when the prequels came out, and that disappointed everybody.
The prequels?
I feel like the prequels is when they started to kind of peter out, and the fans kind of started to turn on George Lucas. The final nail in the
Yeah.
coffin, obviously, was when he sold it to Disney, which is not the worst decision, but at the time, people didn't like it.
I mean, I like what they did with Marvel. It doesn't seem like the worst place to put your franchise.
Meh.
But not every
Nah,
franchise works that way.
Yeah.
that's true. Disney
Yeah.
should get Spawn. I just want
Yeah.
to see what happens.
Oh man, I can imagine
You
that.
know what? It probably would be owned by a subsidiary of many of Disney's,
True.
studios. So
That's true. So let me go ahead and go first. For me, I was introduced to Star Wars in the 90s, probably like 91 or 92.
Mm.
The first time I watched the first movie, it was when it was released on TV. It was the first TV release of the film, and since it had been out of theaters since the 70s, which is interesting. But then again, movies didn't go to TV right away back then. You had to either rent it or buy the VHS or the 8 track, which or the not the 8 track. What was it called?
Betamax?
The Betamax. You had to get the
Yeah.
Betamax of it. So the fact that that film came out on TV was a huge moment for viewers, especially people who saw the movie in theaters. And it just opened the door for a lot of new stuff, a lot of new fans. And then, of course, you have the toys. For me, what sold me was the movie itself. The ships is what captivated me. The Millennium Falcon, the obvious one, and the X-wing. And after that, it kind of just spiraled into an obsession of, you know, props, cosplay, action figures, toys. I think roughly 30% of my collection is Star Wars based. I have a bunch of Star Wars Legos. That's where most of my collection resides. The figurines, the different builds that you could do. I even have a couple model kits. It's just one of those franchises that as I grew up, I kept falling more in love with it because they just kept throwing more stuff my way. And it got to the point where I thought it could do no wrong. Like when you become obsessed with something, it's like, you know, almost becomes like saintly to you. Like like when you see a girl defending her boyfriend who drinks and hits her.
What?
It's just one of those relationships that you can't see the writing on the wall of what was wrong with it. Even though there wasn't really anything wrong with it at the time, there still really is. Well, there's a couple things wrong with it.
Don't touch my garbage.
Yeah, exactly. Basically, yeah. Don't touch my garbage. Yeah. And I was very protective about it too, especially when kids would make fun of me for liking that instead of like X-Men or, um, I guess Star Trek. Although I liked Star Trek too, so I didn't get too much flack for that. One thing I do remember is having an argument with a kid in school because he knew that the movie and the whole story was inspired by the original book and film Dune. And I remember like getting into a fight with a kid over that. Is one of my earliest memories of me ever getting into a fight, and it was because somebody was saying that Star Wars wasn't an original IP. Which,
Well, like, you mean like a physical fist fight?
yeah, it was a physical fist fight. Like I got
Well,
into
damn.
it. Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah,
And it's
he's
just
right.
he was right. I find out later on in middle school, and I was like, well, that was one of my first devastating blows because I remember thinking like, you lied to me, George Lucas, you lying bastard.
You bled for that cause.
Yeah, I did. I literally did. And I remember sitting in the library and pulling out the book and then reading it. I'm like, oh, this is garbage.
Mhm.
Like George Lucas didn't copy it. He took the idea, refined it, and made it better.
Yep.
So how could that be wrong? And see,
Just like Carlos Mencia.
there goes, yeah, no, hell no. Carlos Mencia does not make anything better.
Sure he does.
Hell no. I think the only good thing about him is that he's the butt of the joke of a lot of comedians. That's the only good thing about him.
When he's not stealing, he is funny.
So never,
I think so.
because he's always. But regardless, I remember sitting there and it kind of like re-established my love and faith for it. Although I didn't really falter, it was shaking a little bit. And I just kept going with it, like I said, I developed a bit of an obsession. Anytime I was able to buy something Star Wars related, I would. I did have a lot of toys growing up as a child that was Star Wars related. One of my most treasured one was actually a full size Millennium Falcon that unfortunately I gave away like an idiot, and to this day I regret it. Like to this day I regret it. And it was the big size one that opened up.
Yep.
You could put the figures in there. Like an idiot, I gave it away. Like an idiot. If I could go back in time and talk to myself, I would slap myself.
Mhm.
It's like, don't you give that away. And no, it's not for your kids in the future. They do not get to inherit it. I mean, it's fine. I have another one now. Makes sounds, it lights up and everything.
It goes in the earth with me.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, but as I grew up, the franchise, I started to see more and more that the franchise was kind of faltering. And the prequels was one of them. Phantom Menace, even though it got a lot of flack because of Jar Jar, I still enjoyed it, especially the end. Like, the Battle of the Fates and the fight with Darth Maul and whatnot. But I still like the story. It was still pretty good. Yeah, Jar Jar was annoying, but he's in a small part of the movie. Like, if you like take those those color glasses away and really focus on the plot of the movie, and you try not to focus on Jar Jar, he's in about 30 minutes of the movie. Like every segment he's in is a small clip of him just being an idiot. I mean, granted, that is what he was. And the only reason he's even in the film is because George Lucas' daughter asked him to add him. So we don't blame George for that. We blame her for that.
Well, wait, does she create the character and go put this guy with the weird eyes?
She gave George the idea to create a character like that. She said she wanted somebody funny, somebody silly, somebody that was always causing trouble. And George came up with Jar Jar. Yeah. And it was one of those characters that I think to this day gets too much flack simply because it was his daughter's wish to have him in there. And I feel bad because the actor who plays him, Ahmed Best, he got a lot of flack for that. So much to the point where he almost got blacklisted in Hollywood and didn't really act. And on top of that, he got death threats too.
Well, I think it's not right to threaten to kill the guy. That's fucked up.
That
But
seems to be Star Wars fans go to every time they're pissed about something. Let's kill this
yes,
guy.
they have a bunch of really, really good practical effects, especially back then in the 70s and 80s,
Hmm.
and made
Yeah.
the all the characters were really cool and like larger than life and look real in their own way. But Jar Jar was a cartoon character,
Yeah,
and there weren't any other ones really like that at all. Maybe now.
true.
It's
Although
just goofy.
seeing him now, seeing the character Jar Jar now, he's actually gotten quite a bit of a cult following, and people like him a little more, especially since there's a theory that it turns out that he was a secret Sith all along.
I've heard of that.
Yeah, and and Lego even went as far as making a Lego set for him, where you have a dark Millennium Falcon and him as a Sith, which apparently sold out as soon as it was. As soon as it was,
As soon as you looked it up.
yeah, gone. Already the figure already on eBay goes for about $100.
Damn.
Yeah, yeah. But regardless, that aside, I still like the franchise simply because it doesn't just give you the movies. You have the video games. One of my favorite ones growing up was the Empire Strike Back, where you start off as the snow speeder and you had to take down the AT-AT.
Oh, it's 64.
Yeah, the N64 one, which
That's
was a
Dark
terrible
Force
game,
version.
by the way, but I still liked it because it turns into a rail shooter first, because you're flying as a snow speeder. Then it turns into a third person shooter because you turn into not Han, but a character that kind of looks like Han, and you're going around killing stormtroopers and fighting other individuals. And then you play as Luke, and then it turns into a somewhat of a fighting game as you play as Luke. It was just one of those games that was kind of all over the place, but I still had fun. It was fun to play, and I remember beating it. I just remember how it ends. One of those games that, like, even looking back now, I don't remember much about it. Just certain parts.
Shadows of the Empire, I think it's called.
I think it was Shadows of it. Yeah, and then of course you have some other newer games like The Force Unleashed, which to this day is probably one of my favorite games of all in the franchise. Simply because this character they created was so OP that George Lucas himself went on record to say that he would never be canon because he would destroy everyone in the Star Wars franchise.
He pulled a Star Destroyer out of the
He pulled a
sky.
Star Destroyer out of the
Uh,
sky. Yeah,
yes.
it's definitely one of those characters that he has a huge following, a huge fan following, especially the actor who plays him, Sam Witwer. But
Oh yeah, I know. He's
he's just too broken to be canon. And George Lucas is gonna say it like it. Although it was when he owned the franchise, so maybe now that he's not, it's not part of him. It might change things. But if they do introduce him into the franchise, they're gonna have to nerf him heavily because this guy was over here destroying, Sidious and Darth Vader at the same time. And then, of course, he had the ability to incinerate stormtroopers with the Force. Apparently, that's the thing.
There's also they used him as a it's how the Rebel Alliance got formed. Darth
Yeah,
Vader, he used him to have all of Darth Vader's enemies expose themselves, but it backfired.
yeah. Which is kind of ironic if you think about it. Your
Yeah.
one goal to get your enemies together only creates a stronger enemy. Fun fact: Sam Witwer also voices Darth Maul in the Clone Wars series and in the new Darth Maul series that's on Disney Plus.
Oh,
Which I've heard,
that guy is animation and video game royalty at this point. He's the
yeah,
guy
people
in Days
love him.
Gone.
Yeah, and
He's the motorcycle guy.
it's funny because when he first got the role as a Starkiller, he didn't know much about Star Wars. He knew like the basic stuff, the movies and some of the stuff here and there. But then after that, he became like a scholar to it. He's read the books, he's read the comics, he's like done a lot of research about the franchise, so much to the point where there was one part where he's doing the second game, or is it the Clone Wars? He's doing the Clone Wars, and he corrects Kevin Feige in a scene because he tells him that Darth Maul was not present at the time of a specific scene, so they couldn't use that scene because he wasn't aware of that specific event. And even Kevin Feige got admitted that he was wrong, but he told him to shut up and leave the room because he got out Star Wars.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's in a nutshell. That I mean, to this day, I still like the franchise. I played most of the games. I watched all the movies. I haven't watched all the shows mostly because Andor, for as good as everybody says it is, I can't get past the first 3 episodes. I just can't. I've tried multiple times.
It's not what I hear about that show.
Dude,
I never watched
everybody, it's won awards. It's won awards, and I've seen clips of it, and it looks really, really good. And even they had a really good cast. The guy who plays Gollum, I forget his name. He was in it. Who else is in it? The guy from Rogue One, I think, was in it. They have a really good cast in that show, but I just couldn't get past the first 3 episodes. It was just too boring. But apparently, after that third episode, that's when it gets good.
Of course.
Yeah, that's how it always goes. But yeah, I mean, I still like the franchise. I've introduced the kids to the franchise. They haven't really taken to it like I hope they would. Jeremy kind of likes it. He likes the figures. He likes
He likes cosplaying.
the cosplay. Yeah, he likes dressing up as Vader. He's dressed up as Vader a couple times.
He's been wanting for like a while now. Also, a
stormtrooper. No, and not just like a regular stormtrooper that you find at Target. He wants the military grade outfit with the armor, the helmet that has the voice synthesizer, and the full size blaster that makes actual sounds. Like he almost ordered it from Amazon one time. I caught his behind trying to order it from Amazon because we get alerts when unauthorized purchases try to get attempted, and he tried it twice. I shut down both times, and I tell him like, "Hey, I know what you're doing." And he's like, "No, I'm not doing that." That'd be all innocent.
Yeah.
Oh, and he also likes the lightsabers. I have like 2 of them that he likes playing with. I have the dark saber too. He likes playing with that. And he really took to the Mandalorian's weapons. I have the rifle for that one, and I have his hand blaster. So he definitely likes all of that. But then again, he's kind of he's a bit of a gun nut.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of my fault.
Yeah. Nerf guns.
Yeah, it's Nerf guns. Like not actual guns, folks. Although even if it were actual guns, there's nothing wrong with that. Especially if you teach your kid early and teach them how to be responsible with it. So there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Jen. Why don't you go next? Why don't you tell us how you came into Star Wars?
Dad.
Your dad?
One word, Dad. Yeah. He had all 3 of them in VHS back in the day, in the 90s. And he used to watch them repeatedly. Like, I was, me and my brothers were always playing in the background somewhere. But it really caught my attention, the music. John Williams' music. I don't know. After I heard music like that, and then just the scenery that they would use, something just pulled me in to just sit down and watch the story. So I did, and it was I started actually with the first one, and then progressed from the Empire Strikes Back and the Return of the Jedi. And I don't know, I'm not like a huge fan of the franchise, but I do enjoy watching the fights, all the scenery that they use, the music. I don't know, I just really like what really got my attention was the Han Solo and Leia story. So that's pretty much why I got immersed into that story. There was a love story amidst all of the fighting and the sci-fi graphics and everything. So that's pretty much me on that. And also, like, something else that I also enjoyed was those 5 minute, it was like 5 or 10 minute shorts that they were doing.
Star Wars Visions.
Yeah. I think it's Tales of the Jedi, think it
It's
was.
Tales of the Jedi and Star
Right?
Wars Visions, both two different series, but each one were like 10-minute episodes.
Yeah, I think they did a really good job explaining some of the lore because I'm not a person that like goes out of my way to read those books. I haven't really read them, so but I mean, I thought they did a really good job explaining, backgrounds to certain characters that I wasn't familiar with. I really enjoyed those.
Yeah, Count Dooku in particular.
Mm-hmm. The Count Dooku one was great.
Yeah, his
It
his is a
really,
tragic backstory.
yeah, it is, and it really kind of gets you to feel for the characters and see why they turned out the way they are. And
Yeah,
I
why
mean,
they went to the dark side.
yeah, I can't blame Count Dooku for that one.
Yeah, especially when all he wanted was like try to help people.
Yeah, just kept backfiring in his face.
Too much red tape, too many
Yeah,
politics.
and like one good thing they do these movies have is that those religious overtones of good versus evil, and I enjoyed those very much. So. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
There's actually I don't know if it's still there, but in the early 90s, there was a group of people who founded the first church of Star Wars. Hang on, let me look it up real quick. And it was funny because it started as a goof, just like-minded people.
To share a passion
Yeah,
for Star Wars.
yeah. So it's called the Jedi Church, and it is a thing. It's Jedi religion and Jedi faith based on the film's philosophy.
Hmm,
Um,
interesting.
I don't see when it was originally founded.
But it's not a cult, is it?
It's not a cult in the sense that they don't like make people leave their families and go to a
Okay.
compound. It's just like-minded individuals who come together because of their love for the film series and the franchise, but also the messages it teach you, like you just said, the religious overtones, which
Yes.
are present.
Mm,
Good versus evil,
they're heavily present.
having faith on something
Hmm.
outside of your control,
Yeah.
and relying on it to help you become whatever obstacles are in your way. And it's called Jediism,
Mm-hmm.
the religion Jedi. I'm not making this up. You can look it
Hmm.
up for you. And they even have something called the
I
Temple of the
believe it.
Jedi Order.
I believe it.
And it's crazy because it's gotten to the point where some people did think it was a cult at one point, and they tried to shut it down multiple times.
Mhm.
But it's been going on pretty strong since 2016. UK Commission rejected the status of a religion because they have gone out to try to become a full-fledged religion, kind of like Scientology. But to this day, they haven't been acknowledged as one. But it's there.
So it's interesting that they don't do that because I mean, if you were able to take Klingon as a language, why can't that be, its own thing?
Well, I think Klingon is a religion, but
Language.
it's a language. And speaking of
I th-
language, to this day, Star Wars has produced a dozen amount of new languages that are now accepted as actual languages that you can
Wow,
learn
interesting.
through websites like Babbel. Like Huttese, apparently. You can learn how to speak Huttese.
Really?
Yeah, let me look at this.
Oh,
Learn
that's
to
interesting. That's
speak
very interesting.
Huttese.
I think
Yep,
to
there it is.
reach religious status, you have to have your own intellectual property.
That's
Like
true.
Scientology, where you
It
get to
can.
come up with
Mhm.
your own thing. You can't be like, the Church
Mhm.
of the Blues Brothers.
In a technical way, George Lucas technically probably could have done that. I mean, he had a
He could.
ranch. He had a ranch dedicated to it. Skywalker Ranch,
Uh,
which he sold, unfortunately. But regardless, is one of those things that it refuses to die. They have tried to take it down multiple times.
does I think Duolingo also offers that language, right?
Duolingo does offer how to speak Huttese, and Ewok apparently, which I wasn't aware had its own.
Nice, nice.
And it's funny because George Lucas at first said it was just gibberish, but now it's turned into a full length language. Like,
Nice.
greetings is Goopa
Uh-huh.
or Yaya. The obvious one that a lot of people know is Yub Nub, which is celebration, like hooray. Thanks is Tiha. Farewell is Yeehaw.
Nice.
Do you
And
think that George Lucas's hair is gray because of time or because of us?
it's actually the time, and he's got on record that we made him age as fast as he did.
I think we
If you
did.
look at him
With all
now,
the demands.
he looks more vibrant than he did when he was making the films. The guy looked like a zombie when he was making the films, and he looks really good now if you look at him.
Yeah.
Well, he was
Like
on the grind. He was just coming off of what was it, American Graffiti? And
Yes.
then
Yeah.
like it just kept going.
like I mean, at the time of filming Star Wars, he looked older than he is now. He's 81, but when he was making Star Wars, he looked like he was in his 70s already, even though he was barely in his 30s at the time.
People just looked older back then. It was
Yeah.
weird.
That is true.
Mhm.
But he actually looks good now. If you look at him, like for his age, he looks really good. He's got the silver hair going on.
Mhm.
His thin rim glasses.
Well, he handed over the mantle to Disney.
Yeah, he's like, hey, I'm washing my hands of this.
Yeah.
You guys take it.
Whatever
I'm out.
happens next, it's not my fault.
Yeah, yeah. He's just like, I wash my hands of this, and it's funny because when they told him, when they asked him, like, there was just an interview a long time ago, and they asked him if he would ever sell the franchise, and he says that he would take it to his grave. And then when he sold the franchise, people were like turned on him, like immediately turned on him. But now that the franchise is in somewhat better hands,
Is it?
it's in multiple hands, but there's good hands and then there's not so good hands. Like Kevin Feige's doing well, and so is what's his name from Iron Man? I forget his name.
Oh, John Favreau.
Jon Favreau, yeah. Jon Favreau, Kevin Feige,
He's doing great.
Sam Whittier, they're all doing great with the franchises. They've done a good job handling the series, the movie, not the movies, the TV shows and the animated shows. So they're doing okay with it. The movies, yeah, they're bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. I don't know. I just think moving forward, they should just probably stick to shows.
I agree.
Or
Heavily.
nothing.
Oh.
Nothing. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't interrupt.
I mean, I'm thinking about like like little shorts, like animated shorts. I think that would be more better because they could actually take what it's already written in books.
Yeah,
I'm
there's
like,
still a lot of lore.
I
out
just
there.
don't understand why they can't take what's written in there and just like mold it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Just use those. Just don't change the main concept.
Yeah. I mean, technically, the books aren't canon anymore, but people will fight you over that.
Yeah.
People will fight you over that, especially because they use a lot of the reference material in some of the newer movies. So people argue and like, well, maybe not all of it is canon, but some of the parts are canon. And
I
of
mean,
course
if
they
Lucas
have,
said it.
of course they have new books and comics that they've released that add to the stories. The comics alone probably make more than the movies and the TV shows do, because they expand way on the lore, and everybody gets their own stories in those comic books.
Yeah.
You want to know more about Guido? There's a comic for it.
Yeah.
You want to know how the Hutts came into power? There's a comic for it. Although
Nice.
now you get to see it in the TV series.
Mhm. But it's always when they want to put their own input that messes everything up.
Yeah. What if we make this person force sensitive? What if we make this person into something else? What if with there's
just
a
don't
way
understand.
there's a way to impregnate a woman through the force?
Was that a thing?
In
Is
the series of Acolytes, I think. Apparently these witch sisters had the ability to do that. Yeah,
Oh
you're
my
pregnant now.
goodness.
They hold their hand out to you and they're like, you're pregnant now. What were you gonna say, Jen?
Huh?
Oh, I thought you were gonna say something.
I don't know, man.
All right. What about you, Jan? How the franchise came into your life?
When I was a lot younger, we had so I don't remember exactly how it works now because it's been so long, but in the VCR days, my parents had two VCRs hooked up to one TV, so they would rent a tape from Blockbuster and put a blank tape in the other VCR.
So they
and would
record it.
Yeah, so
the
that's
OG
how we
days
had,
of pirating,
Yeah.
baby.
Yeah, that's how we had NBA Jam, or not NBA Jam, Space Jam.
Space Jam.
And
yeah.
so
If you
we had
wanted to have a movie, that's how you got it.
we
Hmm.
had a bunch of VHS tapes with the white stickers on the side that
Yeah, I remember those.
handwritten what they are. So I
Yeah.
never actually had the box art or
Yeah.
anything as a kid. We had those tapes. I think there was two movies on one, and one was on one by itself with or with
Um,
something else.
yes.
And into it, the prequel movies came out 99, so I was 9. I saw it in theaters, or the first. I think I saw all of them in theaters as they came out. Um, they were kind of hit and miss. Pod racing was cool. Jar Jar was lame. Um,
Mhm.
everybody knew if you'd paid any attention to the conversation with Luke and Obi-Wan at the beginning of the first Star Wars movie, then you already know what's gonna happen, basically, because he says his dad's name was Anakin, and then you meet
Mhm.
Anakin and he's his dad, and
Mhm.
yeah. So,
Yeah.
but that was a cool way of storytelling to tell the end of the story and then like 20 years later tell the beginning. Uh
Yes.
it's I don't know. The third one, I felt like everything was done in front of green screens. Probably the whole movie or all three movies. I don't know, but it was really apparent in the third one that everyone is just in front of a green screen. It's like a movie with no, the set is green walls for the whole thing, green walls and wires.
Yeah, you're
But
right.
nowadays, so like the John Solo thing was I was playing some video game and I saw like a Sean or a Ron Solo and I was like, "Oh, I could do that." I really don't care much about Star Wars anymore at all and haven't really I like The Mandalorian. I want to see that movie that they're doing. But other than that, in my opinion, and it's really pessimistic one, since uh since Disney took over, the only thing they put out that I liked was The Mandalorian. Ahsoka was all right. I mean, I watched that, but and I liked the idea in the Book of Boba Fett where he goes back to Mos Eisley and takes over the power vacuum left when Jabba the Hutt died. I thought
Yeah.
that
Hmm.
was a cool. That was, I mean, the show itself wasn't all that great, but that idea was pretty cool, and it brought back the Mandalorian,
Hmm.
and he just showed up and stole the show like Alucard.
Oh
Basically.
yeah.
But I've played not all of the games, but most of them. I played Shadows of the Empire or Dark Force Rising, whichever one. The N64 one that you were talking
Hmm.
about earlier. I've
Yeah.
definitely played that. Uh, I was there when Battlefront 2 just stomped on everybody's hearts.
Mhm.
That was cool.
Yeah, I
Thank you for
remember that.
that, Electronic Arts. Lately, I don't know. I haven't really touched anything Star Wars in a good while. And I'm curious why is it May the 4th just because it sounds like May the Force, or is there any significance?
No, there's no significance. It is just
Oh,
May the 4th because it sounds like May the
May the
4th.
Force. Hmm.
It's Kyle's birthday.
Oh, nice. Happy birthday, Kyle.
He might hear this if I tell
May
him
the
I said
Force
happy
be with
birthday to
you.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah, May the 4th be with you. Let's
Yeah,
celebrate Star Wars Day.
it's a fan driven holiday that was made up back in 79.
Hmm.
It was shortly after the film released and the fans just went with it. There's really no significance to it. Other than that, usually that day they'll have a sale for Star Wars stuff. Like a lot of websites right now are having sales. Like if you go to Neo Saber, you go to the Disney store, there's a lot of stuff on sale right now. But
Yeah.
other than
And
that, there's no significance to it.
and then there's just a good because games like Fortnite have the skins back on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a good way to push the merch,
Yeah.
even though there's nothing to do with it. I
Mhm.
mean, it's part of the franchise now, and
And honestly,
they've even got to the point where now, even though it's Cinco de Mayo, they call it Revenge of the Fifth. So they're trying to coin that one.
oh my god.
I remember when Disney had first gotten Star Wars, South Park did an episode
I
where
remember that.
yeah, I think it was I might be wrong, but I think it was the Chinese government
It was that one.
they were doing like a backdoor deal to try to get the rights of Star Wars.
Yeah.
And the whole episode is about like trying to stop the Chinese government from taking Star Wars. And when they finally confront them, and they say, "What do you want to do with Star Wars?" And they're like, "Nothing. We want to take it. We want to preserve it exactly the way it is. We're not going to
Hmm.
do anything with it, and we don't want to let anyone else do anything with it." And I was like,
Hmm.
that would have been like the Chinese government was trying to save us in South Park. I don't know. Like,
I mean, a lot of hardcore fans, especially the old school fans, will
Mhm.
go on record to say that it would have been better if George had never sold the franchise and just let it die. But at the same time, is because the franchise is still going that we have almost 4 generations of fans now.
Mhm.
So, and even Sam Whittier has
Mhm.
gone on record to say that the reason the old school fans don't like the new stuff is because they didn't grow up with them the way they wanted it to grow up with.
Mhm.
yeah,
So it appeals more to the larger demographic, and that's part of the reason why it's still so popular. But when you have something like that that is so powerful and so loved, people want to conserve it. Like you said, the Chinese government wanted to conserve it.
wanted to preserve the art.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
and that goes into a lot of things. Like if you look at conservationists who want to conserve certain areas in certain places of certain cities, they want to keep certain things preserved so they don't so people remember it the way it used to be. Like Old Town, look at Old Town. That
Yeah,
is the largest
Mhm.
conserved city in the California area in San Diego. And people fought for that. Originally it was gonna get torn down, turned into apartments, maybe condos, what have you. But people fought to preserve it, and that's kind of what Star Wars fans wanted. But ultimately, it's evolved and turned into something else. And yeah, some of them don't like it anymore. Or they outgrew it, like you said, John. You outgrew it, but there's fans that are still with it, and they've introduced their kids to it, and their kids have introduced it to their kids, and it's still going.
I just wish they would slow down just a little.
Mhm.
It's
Like
gotten to
I
a
like,
point where they're just trying to make it into a cash cow. I'll give you that. But
yeah.
out of every turd that comes out, you get an occasionally good one, an
Mhm.
occasional diamond.
I was genuinely surprised and very happy when like the show might not have been perfect, but Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka,
Mhm.
such a
I
good idea.
Mhm.
fans actually were clamoring for that,
That's why she wasn't in Clerks 3.
Yeah.
and part of the
Barely.
reason, part of the reason the fans wanted Rosario to be Ahsoka is because she cosplayed her once. She cosplayed her back when the Clone Wars originally came out, and the fans went nuts. They said like, "We want a live action Ahsoka, and we
Mhm.
want Rosario to play her."
She didn't voice actor because I'm pretty sure Rosario she was Wonder Woman, I think, in some stuff. She was in
She was
Justice
Wonder
League
Woman in
movies.
one of the movies, but she
Mhm.
never did any voice acting for Ahsoka. Ahsoka Tano was voiced by 3 different actresses.
Oh, okay, like at the same time.
No,
Oh, okay.
for the Clone Wars,
Yeah.
Ariana Greenberg. Oh my god, Ariana Greenbelt voiced her. Ashley Eckstein cloned her in the Clone Wars, but that's when she was younger.
Is it Green Blatt?
Greenblatt, yeah,
Her dad is in Freddy's Dead: The Final Nightmare, but never mind.
nice. But Rosario was only portrayed her in the live action. She never voiced her.
Oh, she killed it though. She
No,
did
she
great.
did. She did
Yeah.
fantastic job. Like not only did she capture her essence,
Mhm.
you got to see the mature version of her because you only see her as a teen in the film. I mean, in the cartoon series, in the Clone Wars and in the Rebels, you only see her as a teen. This one, you got to see her as a full grown woman. She's lived her life out as best as she could in hiding.
Mhm.
And uh, one of the things that a lot of fans liked when she guest starred in The Mandalorian was her hesitation to train Grogu because there's a quote that says that I've seen what this kind of raw power in an individual can cause. And she was talking about Anakin.
Mhm.
And Grogu, for his age, even though he's technically 50 years old,
Mhm.
he's very powerful with the Force, even though he hasn't refined his abilities. And she worried that his attachment to Din would have the same effect as it had with Anakin.
Mhm. Oh, when you've seen it once, you don't want to
Well,
see, yeah,
Yeah,
stories.
I
you're
think
hesitant. Yeah, you're
I think
hesitant about it.
Anakin remedied, or Luke remedied that himself when he
Mhm.
brought him the little baby Beskar shirt, and
Yeah,
he
yeah,
gave him the choice between that and Yoda's lightsaber,
yeah.
and let him pick what path he wanted to take, and
Mhm.
he's a Mandalorian.
Hmm. He's a Mandalorian. I mean, I like the Mandalorian franchise, but you guys do know that they're eventually gonna die, right?
Of course,
Yeah,
everybody does.
because
I think that. Oh,
from
good,
going
Joe.
on from the storyline franchises of the canon and the movies, they're not there anymore, which means they're gonna die. Hopefully not off
Oh,
screen.
yeah. Oh,
Hopefully
I
not off
don't.
screen.
I know it's. I mean, in my head canon, the new trilogy doesn't exist, and it doesn't make any sense. Like everything they did, Luke's getting his arm cut off, um, Lando betraying Han to try to settle with Darth Vader, and all those different things. Everything everyone went through meant absolutely nothing because the Nazis are there anyway.
Yeah,
Mhm.
And it was like, so they fought
I
for
know.
nothing. They died for nothing. Admiral
yeah,
Akbar died for no reason.
yeah.
Hmm.
It was depressing. I didn't like it. I choose to ignore that. That's not real. Heads in the sand.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And a
Well,
lot of the older fans would are in the same boat. They say the
Yeah.
same thing.
why is Princess Leia like, okay, I can accept that she has force abilities a lot of time. We never seen her do it, but a lot of time has passed and with her lineage. But floating through when she's just floating through space, I was like, is this real?
I know
Like
they could have done better with that one,
they could have just not done that.
Yeah.
or they could have had her block the blaster, use a
Yeah,
force shield over the ship.
give her like defensive only or
Mhm.
something.
Yeah.
Well, Leia's always been more of a defensive
Yeah.
individual when it comes to using the force.
Yeah.
She'd be
She can
shooting people.
she can force heal. Well, she's killed like a couple dozen people, but that's more Han's avenue.
Mhm.
I mean, the only reason I think they had her shoot anybody is so he can get like turned on by it.
She called him a nerf herder.
A nerve herder, a scruffy
Yeah,
looking nerve herder.
yeah.
Who's scruffy? Good times, good times.
Yeah.
But yeah, if there's something you would tell somebody who does know nothing about the franchise, what would you tell them?
Um, I don't know. I don't think it hits the same way
Mhm.
with people as it did when it was, the original
Mm-hmm.
version. If you like sci-fi stuff, sure. I don't know if my son has no interest. And that's not, I mean, the first day I got him home from the hospital after he was born, we watched A New Hope. Well, he slept while I watched A New Hope,
Nice.
which meant, I mean, I was like, I want the first thing he does to like watch Star Wars because I was more into it back then. And he does not care. Like, not even a
Not even
little.
for the toys,
No.
because I see kids go more for the toys than anything else.
Yeah, that's my daughter's like Grogu, so for that.
Yeah, they love Grogu.
Nathan likes Mario and Sonic and
Okay.
Yeah,
things
my
like that.
yeah, our kids
Minecraft.
like that. Yeah. Well, it's just that kids don't really have the attention span anymore for,
I just try to let him. I mean,
like,
yes, that I agree with that, but I try to. I don't want to be like my parents or our parents' generation
oh,
where like
like
this is dumb because we
input
don't
your,
understand.
yeah. You
I
just
don't
don't
get
want
it,
to
so it's
input
stupid.
your preferences onto them. You want him to make his own choices.
Yeah, let him like what he
Yeah,
likes, and his
yeah.
room is weird.
I know, because my kids be watching some weird stuff on the iPad.
Yeah, for real. That
I don't understand.
that skibidi toilet stuff is weird.
Left to our own devices, we are
Yeah.
a strange species.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, kids just have like the attention span so napped now because of the, little shorts and stuff. They don't
Well,
really,
No,
that's why the short clips from the Star Wars Visions and Tales of the Jedi would be
yeah,
perfect,
yeah.
especially for this
I
generation.
think if we just could keep it like that, I think we'd be okay. I think that does more explaining in those minutes than the whole movie I've ever seen of them.
Actually, yeah, like we learned a lot about a lot of different characters in those little clips, and then any of the movies or books. It's insane. I mean, at the end of the day, to each his own.
Mhm.
You know, if you prefer the old stuff, fine. If you like the new stuff, fine. If you like the franchise in general, fine too. It's just there for you, you know? Like, I'll occasionally put on the Clone War series because it has some of the best stories, especially pertaining to Obi-Wan. And I'll occasionally watch the prequels because even though they weren't the best, they had some
Okay.
decent scenes in there.
Mhm.
I haven't seen the new ones though.
Yeah. The only stuff that I liked about the prequel was just the fight between Darth Maul and Obi-Wan and
Qui-Gon.
Qui-Gon. Yeah, that's it. That's the only thing
Yeah,
that
that's kind of like what every
I
person
liked.
says when it comes to that first one.
Obi-Wan versus Jango Fett was pretty cool.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah,
You
that
know
was
what?
pretty cool.
The other one also with what's freaking what's the
Grievous.
guy? No, with what was his name? The senator?
Sidious,
Sidious with
Yoda.
Yoda.
He threw a whole thing at him.
He threw the whole Senate at him.
Yeah.
The whole Senate.
Yeah.
No,
That
I did enjoy the that stuff from the prequel, just knowing to get how Lord Sidious became Lord Sidious and the whole all the fights between Darth Maul and all that. That's just the only stuff that I really actually like about prequels.
yeah. But I mean, like I said, to each his own. The franchise is almost 50 years old, and I'm willing to bet it'll still be around when we're gone,
Oh
and
yeah,
maybe our great grandkids will be having the same discussion that we're having right now.
I wonder what the next thing is going to be.
I know.
I think the Infinity Saga, the Avengers, is one of those things. I think Lord of the Rings is one of those things.
That's gonna stick around.
Yeah, that's the same kind of cultural impact or similar that Star Wars has had.
Yeah,
There'll be something else.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Only time will tell. But all
Mm-hmm.
right, folks, that's gonna do it for this episode. We hope you enjoy it. Again, happy Star Wars Day. Let us know in the comments your thoughts. Like, are you a fan of the prequels? Do you like the new three trilogies? The shows? Are you looking forward to Grogu and the Mandalorian? We definitely would like to have a conversation about that. I mean, I would. I don't know about John because he doesn't like Star Wars anymore.
I do like the Mandalorian.
Yeah, but definitely hit us up, and you can always follow us on our socials. I'll leave links in the description below. We're gonna try to put out more episodes as possible. John has agreed to a 4-year contract. It
Got
is
nothing better to
binding.
do.
I have his signature and is written in blood.
Nice.
So, and I the same for him. So definitely check out his show, The Game Ecologist, about video games and whatnot. It's also on YouTube and Spotify, and he has it also a couple clips here on TikTok. So definitely check him out. And with that
I
being
have like
said,
100
everybody,
videos.
I know.
Stay tuned for we will be doing a review of Mortal Kombat 2. So stay tuned for that one.
Heck yeah. So thanks again for tuning in. We'll talk to y'all next time.
Okay. Happy May the 4th.
Hooray.
You will be. You will